Hi folks, and welcome back to some more Grand Tactician Civil War. We've got some mixed emotions about playing today because for one thing we may have a massive breakthrough as it looks like we're about to capture Washington, which should be fantastic playing as the Confederacy, right? At the same time I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed if we do it that easily that the AI is not doing a very good job, and this is playing at very hard difficulty with this mod, so it's kind of a testimony to how wonky the AI can be in this game. But anyway, we'll see. That might not play out as expected. There's a whole lot more stuff to look over, but let's jump in and just see if the Confederacy can pull off a bit of a surprise here. So as we left off in the previous episode, you guys saw Jackson's Army of the Northwest, which came storming in through Maryland, and also Beauregard's army, which had been marching up. But the Union forces, they've just run. They just had to flee. Now, we did give them a bit of a kicking in Northern Virginia, so perhaps they've not been in any state to come and counter. But there should have been stuff garrisoned in Washington. That should have been a thing. Speaking of which, actually, you know, I've been a little bit lapsed here. We should have got a fort built in Richmond, so let's do that now before we forget. This would protect Richmond against any rapid advance by the enemy, whilst we don't have enough forces there to basically hold the place. Anyway, more developments further down the coast on the peninsula. We've got Magruder's army. It looks like the siege of Fort Monroe is going to be successful after we ordered the assault after getting the breach. So that looks pretty damn impressive. And that's going to free up 10,000 men, basically, to join the cause and the fight elsewhere. So, all eyes on the peninsula and Maryland, or DC, I should say, for the time being. Around the rest of the map, what is this? Okay. All right, we've got the Department of the West moving in here with 20,000 men. Facing them is the Western Army with considerably fewer than that, still trying. In fact, their readiness has gone down to even... What the... Oh, no, hang on. No, okay, that's fine. Okay, the readiness... I thought it was down at 0. It's not very good. I don't know why it's not very good. It's taking forever for those guys to recover. Is that because we're waiting 77 days for something to march from Missouri? I don't know where those guys are coming from. Maybe they're cut off. Maybe we need to be in Missouri to get the Missouri State Guard. I think that's giving us some problems. We do have 8,000 men there, and we're just waiting for something else to come along. Okay. So we have actually comparable numbers if everything gets into a fight. Meanwhile, Price is getting ready to go on another offensive. We've got the Army of the West. Now, for whatever might happen over in the East, the war still needs to be won and or lost out here. That is the thing. We should have the Army of Florida coming up under Bragg. Has it finally got his arse across there? No, that's not the right one. It's this one. So Bragg's across there. I don't think he's got orders to move. I wanted him to go to Memphis because Memphis looked kind of vulnerable. So let's make sure he's actually going there, and he's using... Doesn't need to use that. Oh, well, yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he does. As long as he gets there one way or another, we'll just get them in there. Polk's army is withdrawing down here. We've got to slow the army of the Mississippi coming down. If that moves to attack the forts, which are what? Fort Henry, Fort Donelson, Fort Hyman? I've never heard of Fort Hyman. Maybe I need to go and reread my history. But anyway, the army of the Mississippi under Grant comes down there and besieges the forts. Polk is going to go shooting up the road and knock out his supply line at Columbus. That would be the thing to do. All right, let's go and see. Oh, right, we've got Van Dorn slowly trying to take Louisville up there. Currently, no sign of the enemy. We don't have any vision on them, so we need to be a little bit careful. He's in defensive stance. He can slip away if there's a problem up there. All right, let's go and see what happens. Well, we better just check our policies. Come on, how long do we get military to? This is a key thing. It's 24 days still. And our projects... Anything that we can assign money to. Rifled artillery. This would allow us to basically build and order new guns. I might do this. We can produce more advanced rifled artillery, like the 3-inch ordnance and the 6-pounder Ward. Do you know what? We should maybe order those. And I think this would allow us to make Parrott rifles. Oh, I'm tempted. I'm actually tempted. Because, yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it. Appoint the project. Now, that's also, unfortunately, going to cost us... That's going to cost us the ability to reorganize the artillery. But we've got 24 days to get our subsidies back. What are we doing? Military. Military is going under medium funding. Yep, so we do need to put that up. Policies for politics. Do we not need to put something in there? Is that not subsidies? I'll stick it on low. So something builds up. The economy is low. Agriculture is low. Industry, and yeah, this needs to be kind of high. These two do need to be kind of high. I see we've got some. Actually, I don't think that does. I don't think there's anything under politics. Or is there? No, it's diplomacy. It's diplomacy where that matters. Okay, cool. We shall come out of that. Right then, let's go nipping into our weapons. Now, orders available. This is what we want to see. We will order... Look, a 1900 yard, 2.8 rounds a minute, 2.9. Does it give us any information on accuracy? Mediocre. Rifled artillery. Accuracy, excellent. Now, why was the Ward rifle not as good? We don't know. But we're going to order. It's going to take 200 days to get 32 of them. I'll put the order in. And the Ward rifle. We just buy everything, basically. I'll get them coming a little bit quicker, maybe. Just order it. And then we've got guns coming in. It's probably better to do the longer term order, but we'll give them out. The Ward rifles don't look as good, so... But we need everything we can get. So come on then, let's go and see. We're going to just watch this now, because I think DC is going to get destroyed. We've got guys who can't move. But the control is going up. Let's speed this up to 5 times. There's units getting absolutely smashed there. Routed. I guess they've got Jackson chasing him. We don't know where the rest of the Union Army is. Washington falls. Union capital taken. The president flees. Northerners in shock. Confederates press on. I mean, that is quite some news, right? That is quite some news. I mean, if that had been a thing, if this is no longer enemy territory, we can move the army straight into there. Cool, let's get them up there. Let's move them in. That's definitely worth holding. We need to make sure that the Union don't sort of sweep down over this side, of course, and they'd have a clear run to Richmond. So I'm not proposing an exchange of capitals here. And a glorious victory at Fort Monroe. Butler surrenders. Support for the Yankee cause wavers. That is 2 wonderful pieces of news for the Confederacy in 2 days. That's excellent. So what happened over there? The battle has ended with the Union units retreating in panic. My command has earned us total victory with the enemy army running for their lives. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualties of 3,732, 69 killed, and well, it says 0 captured. So that doesn't... This game is so broken. If they've lost 3,700 men of only 69 killed, then clearly the rest aren't all going to be wounded and 0 captured. And then the place has just surrendered as well. So anyway, it's fine. We lost 288 men and we've captured all their rifles, but 0 guns from the battlefield. So the rifles are good, whatever they were armed with. So we now have ourselves Fort Monroe. And we need to wait for these guys to sort of come out of that battle mode. Oh, we've got a perk. They already had the ambulance corps. Let's go for... Now, there's some great ones. Now, there's no more major sieges to fight that we know of. I could make Magruder a siege commander, because I say there's no more major sieges. The Union are building fortresses up here. Should we go for it? Engineers and mechanics. Level up by constructing forts. No. Sappers and miners. Siege assault efficiency plus 15%. Level. Oh, that's only in siege assaults though, so that's not necessarily quite what we want. Bushwhackers. Limelights. Level up fighting sieges. Let's see. Chemical lamps using superheated balls of line or calcium create a glow known from lighthouses in theatres, but now also adapted for combat, allowing the illumination of enemy targets for nighttime bombardment. We may do that. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a siege train. Oh, hang on, we've got siege train. Okay, the siege artillery is assembled into what is called a siege train and transport to take part in sieges only. The siege train consists of heavy rifled artillery and mortars, siege firepower plus 10%. I don't think it's too important to have that. I think it'd be more useful to make this just a regular corps that could lay sieges. I think that'd be better. So we're going to go with something a bit different. The flying column. This is a nice one to get. Copying the French invention, it's possible to break free from the heavy logistical chain. Its simplicity is to carry more rations and less clothing and tents to allow longer and faster marches. Movement speed plus 2.5%. Maximum supplies plus 25%. Yeah, we're not going for a specialist siege train, I think. It's not a terrible idea by any stretch of the imagination, but we're not doing it. So we're waiting for daylight so that we can march into Washington before about 100,000 men come steaming out of there. That's what I was worried. The cavalry corps come in. There's going to be a fight here in a second. Watch this. Yep. I thought there would be. What have we got? There's the 6th US Cavalry versus the Army of Potomac with 50,000 men. I think we're going to win this one, chaps. Well, that actually wasn't a battle at all. It's quite funny. We got set up and the enemy just withdrew. I think they took one look at the 50,000 jubilant rebels all having a picnic on the White House lawn and decided, nope, that's not for us today. Which is actually quite realistic. You know, they wouldn't engage at that. So what is going to happen? These guys are trying to retreat out. The Army of the Shenandoah is broken, basically. Jackson is trying to regain readiness. Does it tell me how quickly he regains readiness? Or not? Fame, legendary. Initiative, venturous. Leadership, distinguished. He is a good guy, but readiness low. Does it give me more information on that? Full readiness should be achieved in within 116 days. Not able to start operation in enemy states, cannot use forced march. Reinforcement speed is lower. That's quite a low readiness. Military operations decrease readiness. I mean, the other thing I can do is try and pull back here. But we're in an enemy state, effectively. The other thing I can do is advance we can advance here. That would help. Let's get to Washington, D.C. We're going to leave this flank open just for now because we're not. Haha, we're not. Because these guys are ready. Let's go and take a look at Magruder. Now, Magruder, he hasn't become famous or anything from that, but it was a good effort. Is there any... We've got, like, quality leaders in here. The cavalry. These units are far too small and they need combining. But we've got Mississippi and Virginia cavalry. And then we've got North Carolina. 2 lots of North Carolina cavalry. Can we combine those? I can, but what it's done is... Yeah, okay, they're not quite big enough to fully combine. We've got Virginia artillery. I don't think they're big enough. No, okay. Do we have any of you guys in here? We should have some somewhere, I'm sure. We have... Apparently, there's only me in this army. All right. Do I get promoted? Did I do any good? I don't think I did anything whatsoever. Mixed smoothbore muskets. Oh, no. We can't have that. Not for your glorious leader. We've got the Springfield rifle muskets. There is just enough. I think they'll be going in there. Thank you very much. Hey, I've got to take the best stuff for myself, right? Even you guys have to acknowledge that. Does anyone need combining? The infantry... Who are you from? North Carolina? Do we have anyone else from North Carolina? We've got a lot of Georgians in here. Okay. It's fine. It's a decent-sized force. They've done a good job there. What we will do is perhaps move to Winchester to hold this flank. There's a possible open flank there and a route straight through to Richmond. Richmond does have some defense. Okay, what we'll do is we'll put them here for now. They can overwinter in Charlottesville, because it is November. And this isn't very, very, very good. Let's just have a look. The perks have gone. The perks aren't showing there. They should be showing there. All right, let's take an eye over into the west, because things in the east seem to be settling down a bit. We have to... Oh, this doesn't look good. 21,000 men versus the Missouri State Guard, who are not ready. Can we get a readiness rating, please? 89 days. So the best thing you guys can do... Can you go up here? I can't order them to do that. I'm going to have to pull back. We're going to have to pull back out of the way of this guy, because we do not want to fight. That's a shame. I guess I was trying to recover on enemy territory, although we control the town, but the state is classed as enemy territory, so it's not good. What's the readiness rating of you then? Come on, because this has been taking forever. Let's have a look. It's probably waiting for reinforcing brigades. Yeah, that's the problem. Tell you what I can do. There is a fix for that. If I take this guy and we go transfer, and let's go and find the... What did I call them? Army of the West? Army of Texas. The Western Department. It wasn't the Western Department. It wasn't the Army of West Tennessee. Army of the West. What we're going to do is we're just going to transfer that guy out of there. And then let's just make sure there's... Colonel Bargy is there, but unfortunately he doesn't have enough men. We might move him over to somebody else then. Right, so this is now looking a bit better, and that lot should be able to recover a little bit faster. So if we come out of there now and then hit that, they'll transfer away and they should get ready faster. Reminder about army organization. Oh, that's from the mod. That's the cool thing about the mod. Don't worry, we're working on the army organization. That's coming on. Anyway, over in Kentucky, what happened? We've still got the guys trying to take Louisville, which I think is great news. Price is withdrawing. That's fine. We don't know where Price is going to go, but that's absolutely fine. We've got the Army of Tennessee, now up to 28,000 men, approaching something like I think they historically were for strength around about this time. There was roughly that number of troops, I think, to deal with Kentucky. There was never enough men in this early war for the Confederacy in this department. And see, it's like a vast department to try and recover and hold on to. Okay, so what we need to do is worry about the enemy crossing into our territory. We got troops up there. That's fine. These guys are marching away. Oh no, sorry. They're going slow because of the low readiness. But if we go into DC, I don't know how much Confederate support there would have been in DC. Probably not a lot. We do need to work on taking Maryland, though, which is this area around here. There was Confederate support there, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, let's go 20 times speed. I've just noticed there's a fight going on here. This is our fleet. Sorry, no, it's the Union fleet. I was looking at this thinking, what? One ship, 2 guns? That is awful. Then I realised, we're these guys. So we put the fleet up here in the hope of blocking this ferry, actually, and stopping Union troops crossing over, which I think is a thing in this game. It's certainly a thing in other Civil War games, like AGOD's Civil War. That was a great game. Right, so you guys are now in friendly territory. Does that help with readiness recovering? It's only 8% faster. It looks to me like we're going to pull all the way back here, which we don't really want to do. Can we get him to there? No, he's pulling back. He's pulling back to his depots. This hasn't helped transferring that unit out. 6 months? Something is not right in the Western Army. And I don't know. We're not missing a leader or something like that, are we? Nathan Bedford Forrest with the cavalry there. We've got leaders in place. I honestly don't know why that readiness is so low there. It seems unlikely to me. Ah, the Army of Texas had to pull away over here. How are they drawing supplies from there? From the river? That doesn't make sense whatsoever. Makes the drawing supplies from there, which we just captured. That's fine. So Van Dorn had to withdraw. But now then, what army? That's the Army of Kentucky. What if there's nothing down here? We hold some of the towns in this area. Right, that's good news. Let's go to Munfordville. Oh, they're withdrawing. Where to? Almost out of the damn state. Which we didn't want. Glorious victory at the Tennessee River. All enemy ships escaped. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. National morale 92. Is that quite good? Who got wounded? Brigadier General Shaver. Oh, he's recovered? Good. That's good news. Results of the Battle of the Tennessee River. That was nothing to really report. Price and Van Dorn are in place. Okay, so his readiness is absolutely fine. We're going to go in. They're coming after us. I think that's hilarious. They're slowly recovering. That's good. Let's try and get this. Because we're making some inroads into Kentucky, so we just need to keep pestering them. Now over here, this army's not looking too clever. The Missouri State Guard. Now we should recover this reasonably quick. 31 days. We need to keep an eye on that. Maybe it's just all on the quality of the leaders. I don't know. The Trent affair. Confederate diplomats captured. Shots fired at a British ship. British furious over the incident. Great Britain planning an invasion. Well, none of that actually came to fruition, of course. But what happened? The Trent affair. If you haven't read about it, there's I think it must have been a British steamer, the Trent. It had 2 Confederate diplomats travelling over to Europe to try and raise support for the Confederate cause. Now, the Union Navy heard that these guys were on board and decided to board the British ship at sea and take them off, which effectively amounted to either an act of war or an act of piracy. And the British were not happy about that at all. You can't just go and board a neutral ship because there's somebody on there that you want. Maritime law and all that. And so the Union was actually forced to hand them back over to avoid a massive international incident. And the hilarious thing was, these diplomats got to Europe. The one went to Paris, I think, the other to London, or maybe they both went to Paris. They achieved shit all. So the Union's action in boarding the Trent to take those guys into custody did more for the Confederate cause than the diplomats ever achieved under their own steam. Which I think is quite funny. Okay, so our situation. You guys. Oh, we've got a thing here. So we're going to assign a perk. I think for Jackson, he has a lot of disabled men. He's been doing a lot of fighting. So the ambulance corps would be. Let me just move off there because it's highlighting the base underneath. The ambulance corps would make sense for him, right? Speed reduction due to wounded soldiers is reduced. Mortality rate of wounded is reduced. Level up by attending the... It just levels up. However, I am going to go for that one first because we've got a lot of wounded soldiers there. So over 10% of the army is wounded. So that will help. You see this one is slowly leveling up here. The flying column would have also been very appropriate for Jackson. Is actually going to be the next one I take there. Okay, Van Dorn's doing great. He's marching around and he's not taking any cohesion loss whatsoever. Which sounds unlikely when you consider what everyone else is up to. It is the middle of winter. Bear that in mind when we're talking about trying to recover readiness. What's going on here? I can't tell what Grant's army is up to at all. Nice. We've got Bragg's force of 10,000 men now at Memphis, just chilling out, doing a bit of training. They should probably meet up with the Western Department and move up upon Grant over there. In fact, I could do that. I could do that. Who have we got in there? We've got a... Oh, God, that's a humongous and ridiculous division right there. We've got some Alabama. No, that's Florida cavalry. Alabama. 2 lots of Alabama cavalry. Oh, we can merge those guys right away because there's just not enough of them to make one unit. And we've got Chalmers. And Strategy Game Mike. Okay, those 2 separate brigades there. We've also got Colonel Baerbock and Ghosty. Okay, these guys could do with... Oh, God, are we all on... We've got Reboard. We need some new weapons here. Okay, let's see what we've got to choose from. The mixed smoothbore muskets are a terrible option. There must be something else. We've got Enfields. Let's go... Oh, let's go one with Enfields. I'll put Ghosty with the Enfields. Can we not select that? Right, the game does this. Just a minute. I don't know why. I don't know why that's not an option. It should be totally an option. Let's just put weapons in stock. Why would we not be able to put the Enfields on there? I don't know. We've got Whitworth rifles, which are actually even better. We've got a lot of them as well. It won't let me do those. We have enough, but it won't let me do them. And I don't know why. So what we will do... Yeah, go on, screw it. Let's give the Whitworth rifles. That's a monstrous upgrade, by the way. And we need to keep buying those, otherwise we're not going to have enough coming in. And also, with Colonel Baerbock, you're getting the Enfields then, yep. Weapons in stock, come on. We don't want the Spring... No, you're getting the Mississippi. Actually, the Mississippi is also a good one. Yeah, upgrade there. And that also leaves some more Georgians. That is a tiny, tiny unit. Okay, when we get tiny units like that, which I don't think are particularly useful, we're going to transfer those over to a big field army. Because that's just not going to help like that. So there's the Army of the West. We could put them in the Army of the West. We're going to put them Army of West Tennessee. And let's make... This is Joseph Johnson. Yeah, let's put a new group in there. Under Aitchison. I would like someone a bit better if we can. There's McCulloch. Oh, he's actually good. He's going to be a corps commander. Okay, so not McCulloch. We're saving him. Actually, he might go in place of Polk because he looks considerably more effective. We've got Robert G. Shavy. Oh, he recovered. I kind of want someone with better administration for this job. But it looks like we don't have an awful lot of option. Where's the admin? Click by, sort by that. So the only one we've got is this guy. He's fine. He's getting promoted. He's going to be our trainer. And do you know what? We've just lost him. Right, so it was the 1st Confederate States Infantry. Let's put him in there. And I also noticed... I mean, Johnson himself's a decent trainer as well. So, but anyone who's like too small... There's someone with... Oh, hang on. Mixed cavalry. No, they're actually okay. The Florida cavalry. Well, we're going to need some cavalry in there. Now, McClaws... He's not a cavalry commander. This isn't supposed to be a cavalry commander. Shit. I'll get it sorted out. We'll organise this later. Anyway, transfer that for now. Okay, Memphis doesn't necessarily need to hold. But this is where the fighting's going to be, so... You don't need railways anymore, you guys. You're going to march in. Let's change over Polk. Because Polk is... He's very famous. Yeah, let's replace him. I don't think he's that good. Put McCulloch in there. That's a far better commander. McCulloch was actually killed, I think, was it in 62 at the Battle of Pea Ridge? Which was somewhere around here. I'm just looking at the... Oh, wait, what the shit? Who's been wounded in action? Colonel Nava? Oh, Colonel Nava's recovered. Right, excellent. Colonel Nava, who suffered severe wounds in a battle, is recovered and ready to continue his service. You may assign him to a new command. Due to the severity of his wounds, his performance will not be the same as before. Yeah, that kind of sucks, to be quite honest. I think he was an artillery officer. Kentucky, Arkansas. We've got 2 from Arkansas there. Right, combine those 2 together because that's just crazy. Arkansas. Guns 0. Something's broken there. Iron Napoleons. There's 3 there from Kentucky. Drop those in the top one. We're trying to make these a sensible size. We can recruit more guys eventually. Right then, Mr. Cobb. You don't seem to be able to manage things. Let's replace, because I have a feeling I go searching for Nava. Were you an artilleryman? Yeah, you're just a volunteer. From what state, though? He was wounded in Manassas. Okay, let's promote. Wow, okay, gone straight to Brigadier General. I think that's worthy of a position. Okay, so you weren't the artillery like I thought. I do apologise. Let's go and find you a command. You're in Manassas Junction. I'm going to put you into Jackson's army. We need some quality Brigadier Generals in here. We've got Hampton, who's quality. We've got Anderson, who's somewhat quality, and this other Anderson. Maybe I'll put you in charge of a brigade for now. William Carroll, 2,500 men. Okay, can we put you in there? You came out of one of those. I don't know. I don't know why. Home state Texas, that'll be why. That will be why. I bet we don't have any Texans in there. I know where we do. I must have had some, though. Who's in charge of the Texas Brigade? More importantly, where is the Texas Brigade? It should say on one of these somewhere. I'm sure it was just called the Texas Brigade, no? We can, if I click this and then go Texas... There's nobody there. That doesn't sound very likely. And I'm going to guess there's no one there from Texas. Right, I don't think that's showing properly. I don't think that's showing properly. I want to get you back into the force. There's got to be some Texas infantry in here. What we do know... That sucks. That absolutely sucks. I don't know what to say about this game. Nothing about it works properly. Just absolutely nothing. Alright, I must have some Texas troops in here somewhere. There we go, we have. Under Colonel John Gregg, but only 631 men. That's not a big force at all. Damn, that sucks. Well, I think we're going to replace them. So I should be able to put... I still can't put them in there. Why can I not put them in there? Home state of Texas. I thought that might be the reason. Pass. Just pass. I have absolutely... no idea why that's the case. I'll get you back in somewhere, don't worry. Oh, there's a massive battle going on over here. Trent affairs resolved. Confederate diplomats released. Yeah, Lincoln backs down. Nothing really happened with that was beneficial to the Confederacy after all. Or the Union, particularly. Right, this looks very bad. 2 federal fleets with actually proper gunboats have contacted our fleet with all sorts of ramshackle shit in it. And I think that's going to be a humongous Union victory. I can't order them to withdraw out of that. Disaster. 2 ships lost. My fleet has suffered 2 sunk, including the CSS Ellis, and 7 captured. It's because I'm sending all sorts of steamers in there. What? Hang on. What? Did you see that? Let me just read that again. New Orleans squadron disintegrates. Following the loss of the Battle of Memphis Ferry, the Confederate New Orleans squadron has disintegrated. The sailors have scuttled their ships. The fleet ceased to exist as an effective fighting force. That is an overwhelming Confederate disaster right there. Shit. Okay. Well, again, historically accurate. What's in the Vicksburg squadron? The CSS Manassas, which is a big ironclad, right? Casemate ironclad ram. Did I transfer it there? Because that was actually in Virginia. I don't know what it's doing over here. We've got all this that we can add in. But I mean, I'm tempted just to scuttle all these because I can't see a reason for keeping them. And they are costing us money. But that was massive right there. That was absolutely disastrous. Okay, so what we need, we've got the Confederate cavalry over here. Let me move them over. We need to keep an eye on this position. Shit, there's an engagement at Washington. This is a pretty big fight. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, we've got Union cavalry spotted on this flank. Luckily, we have Confederate cavalry waiting to greet them, with Colonel KGB and Matthew Butler, with decent weaponry as well. All right, let's keep an eye out for them. We've got infantry support coming up. Oh, we've got something coming up in the center. What was this? We've got, it's enemy cavalry. Now, I am trying desperately to get some guys in position here. Let's get Archer's brigade on this bit of protection here that we've got built. And meanwhile, the artillery, which is currently sitting perhaps a bit too far back to be able to see here. See if we can get these guys up a little bit. We should have a stack of cannons. Let's face them down there. The cannons on the hill have seen. That's great news. Okay, we're building breastworks all the way along the line here. And it looks like we might need to be focusing on this direction too. Definitely got Union forces coming through the center. It looks like a lot of cavalry. They're going to have to face our entrenchments, well, not entrenchments, but breastworks and protection in a very heavily fortified position with loads of cannon. The cannon in the woods, these guys are probably too hidden up here. Yeah, they're going to make a push at that ford. I thought that was going to be one of the places. Over on this side, we do undoubtedly have Union cavalry in position, and I think they're going to be making a push. I've got more Confederate cavalry coming up to support. We don't have a whole lot of reserves on this side, unfortunately. All right, boys, it's time. Are you in loose order? You're supposed to be in loose order. Do as you're told, god damn it. That is so annoying. Whether it's a local commander overriding the instructions or whether it's just my fellas just refusing to do as they're told, I don't actually know. Yeah, whoa. We've got like a full-on assault coming right in here, which would be fantastic were it not for the fact that we are not prepared. Sadly. Right then, force the issue. Get into position here, guys. Claiborne's brigade, can you get in as well? It's okay. We're going to be in some cover. We are firing back. It's not quite where we want it to be. We have artillery to try and stop this. They got here sooner than I expected, and it's because it's got cavalry. There's cavalry everywhere. Let's see how they march up into the teeth of some guns, though. So That will catch them out. We have our cavalry coming in. Do you know what? Our cavalry here. This might be the best timed intervention ever. They weren't supposed to be sitting on this hill, but let's get these boys in with loose order. And let's bring them along like this. So we've got some flanking fire. Jimmy Clown Shoes. He is the man of the hour. Let's bring them in. And meanwhile, I'm just going to pull back up to here. We have stacks of artillery, perhaps everywhere where it's not needed. All right, I'm going to bring division up from the south. I don't think we need to worry about this bit down here, you know. I really don't think we need to care about that bit whatsoever. So let's bring reserves up here. And let's abandon this area. I thought the Union were going to come marching down and try and outflank me around there, but I no longer think that is probably the case. Right then, let's see. This is going to be a massive fight here. Generally, infantry versus cavalry, we will have the advantage. You guys, you need to get facing over there. We need to outflank this lot. This is a considerably messy fight turning up right here. And it is entirely my fault for not having spotted this and got everything prepared. Right, bring everyone around. And this is an effort to try and buy a bit of time on this side. In fact, what we kind of want you to do is to fall back. Now, loose order skirmish cavalry should be very, very good at this sort of thing. This is what they are trained for. But I think we just need to prepare for an assault coming in like this. Okay, let's make sure you guys have got the defences where possible. This is a sodding mess. James Archer holding in the middle. The artillery should be blasting away like nobody's business at this point. Aim yourselves over there, boys. Dismount. Loose order. I've said it before, I will say it again. Loose order is the way to go. We've got all this artillery over here doing absolutely nothing. Let's bring it where it's going to be helpful at least. Who's broken? Ripley's demoralised. So in the centre, we've got two. Let's give you... Where's your line infantry one? Disciplined line infantry. It's a bit late, admittedly. But we've got a few guys who... Oh, nice. Okay, let's get your disciplined line infantry as well. We've got a few guys who are levelling up there, which is nice. On this flank, the cavalry is trying its best to hold. Meanwhile, we're waiting for reinforcements. There they come. Yeah, this whole... It was a fantastic idea. It's absolutely not necessary. I need to get guys up where they're going to be fighting now. Can I bring someone like you? It's Pan! We need to try and hold what might be a catastrophic breakdown in the centre. With more enemy units spotted. And where they're going, we don't really know. I do genuinely believe our cavalry will do the job there. Now the artillery in the middle, unfortunately, Iverson's brigade has pulled back. We don't have the right weapons for skirmishing like this. James Archer has pulled back. It's going to be on the cannons now to just blast a hole in the enemy forces coming up that hill. Which is quite possible. Alright, so over on this side, we've got quite a few blown troopers. Cavalry holding their own there, though, under Butler. They will have to fall back at some point. But they're buying us time. Right, let's pull back Longstreet's division. Let's pull back a bit further. Longstreet's men. Can we get you guys out of there? Yeah, this is looking a bit grim. I'm not going to lie. Can you pull back onto the flank over there? But do it as a fallback. A fallback should be fall back, facing the enemy, firing as you go. That's how it's supposed to work. That's what it's looking like. Excellent. Excellent. Right. So, yeah, we don't need guys down at the bottom now. There's some... By the way, we did find that bloody Texas Brigade in the end. It was in here. Look at this. Look at that stack of artillery doing absolutely nothing over there. Let's go up here. Oh, here. Right, face that way. And prepare for the enemy cavalry approaching. I'm hoping these gunners are going to be able to just... If I order the movement, I order them to aim like that. Right, lovely stuff. Let's bring this regiment over. We've got people ready to fight here. We're driving these guys off. The cavalry's doing a great job. It looks like some infantry stuck in a ditch over there. Let's just pull you out, because I've got too many people in a stupid location. Yeah, this was not the fantastic defensive battle that I thought. I think I maybe misread where the enemy were going to be coming from. These guys rapidly going backwards now. But it's still an orderly withdrawal. Can I get them out there a bit faster? Retreat! That should just be a bugle call. Actually, we want to go on that. And you need to stop, about face, and get ready to repel. However, the Stonewall Brigade will be coming to your rescue. Let's move like that, because this risk has passed away now. Okay, let me make sure that we are in a position like that. Yeah, I was spending too much time creating breastworks there and not watching my job for what might be coming at me. Ooh, you're in a bad position. Okay, I'm going to pull back to there. The infantry is desperately trying to get turned around to face the cavalry. Aha! Reinforcements have arrived. This is good news. Okay, form up on this man's flank. And go into... We can't go into light loose order. I don't know why. We should be able to. Alright, so the centre now looking a whole lot more reliable as more enemy cavalry gets blasted into next week. Chase those guys off. That was a timely intervention. No. Shoot. The Texas Brigade, bring up your rifled muskets. What have we got here? We've just got a massive pile of soldiers. The artillery's been driven back. That's okay, though. That's okay. It's currently classed as a minor defeat because we've had a few units broken, but that's alright. We're going to turn this around. End of day. Okay, this is better. We're going to... Oh, God. Who's been wounded? R.S. Andrews wounded. Okay. Yeah. Well, don't worry. We're going to redeploy overnight and make this look a whole lot prettier. Well, shit. So that's happened again. The enemy are able to redeploy right up to the other side of my guys, which is always, I think, sketchy as hell. But anyway, it is what it is. We've got all the guns. I mean, that's a really bad deployment, surely. Surely to God, that shouldn't be a thing. Louisiana Tigers. Well, let's push everyone into position. And the idea behind this was that we would just rapidly send some guys forward to occupy these positions here, which we are doing, which is great. Okay, we have enough men to hold everywhere we want, I think. And I was kind of expecting to face a shitstorm of soldiers coming over from here. So we've got positioned for that, and we've moved the artillery accordingly. What it seems to be the case is that we need to redeploy to take advantage of this down here. Damn it. No, well, there's no accounting for what the enemy will ever do. Let's get in position with a stack load of cannons facing down there. Guys, on the double. They are moving on the double. Okay. Is there a reason you're not moving on the double? If we advance to that, that's going to be an insane amount of firepower going straight at them. Let's get Frangus's brigade right behind, and let's get the artillery pointing. Nope, shit, not you. No, cancel. Who's the artillery? This guy. Let's see if we can get the artillery formed up a little bit better on this hill. This is going to be a flaming disaster, isn't it? Okay, once again, with the cavalry. Oh, shit. Yep, I see enemy forces coming down there. I've been well and truly hoodwinked. Tell you what, the nighttime redeployment situation causes all sorts of just madness and chaos here. Let's throw in a brigade there. We were supposed to be trying to hold this place, you know. We really were. And they've come storming over the defences. The artillery's not in position. The infantry's not in position. We're falling back. What we need is some reserves. Luckily, we have such a thing right here. Let's redeploy like this and prepare for that. Right, what do we have? We've got the Hanover Light Dragoons. Well, let's get light and let's get dragooning. And let's get in on this flank like this. You guys need to go over there. And we'll redeploy. Oh, there's somebody coming up the hill. This is going to be a bloodletting in the centre here. And what we have to hope is that we can outflank enough of them. We've got this guy boldly. Do not go charging over there, you bastards. Do not go charging over there. You got the order yet? The order to use cover. Do not allow initiative. You will stay and you will fight. No, you will do. How the hell am I supposed to give an order like this? Well, they're going in. It seems like they're not listening to whatever I have to say. Maybe they're going to win. Holy crap. Maybe I should just let them go. Who is that? Brigadier General Jean J.A.A. Mouton. In he goes. They're feeling confident. Well, if they're feeling confident, maybe... Who the hell am I to argue? Into position there, please, sir. We've seen a general advance on this side as well, but it's infantry versus cavalry. And generally speaking, that does not tend to go well for cavalry. Oh, we've got a fight. Oh, boy. Yorkie's brigade. Over here, quick. On the double. On the double. We need to advance everything we can here. And yeah, it's just form European reserve. I didn't see that coming in like that. I didn't leave any reserves further out. We have some cavalry. We've got Stuart's men. Stuart's men can come and try and hold some sort of flank over here. Now this is a battle. This is developing into what a Civil War battle should look like. Perhaps not deployed as they were, but the chaos and the carnage, that is what it should be. The 11th Virginia under Phil McCracken. We're sending the McCrackens forward. We have a lot of artillery over this side. This is madness. We're going against dismounted cavalry, and over there a load of crumbling enemy infantry. I want to see this. In they go. Come on, Phil. You've got this. You've got this. The enemy are coming to meet us. The casualties will now start ramping up rapidly. But dismounted cavalry against mounted cavalry. You would think if the dismounted troopers couldn't shoot down enough of the charging cavalry to disrupt the charge, you think you'd know how that would go. Seems to be some cavalry. Oh no, they're there. They're there. It's okay. I'd lost them. And the 2nd Virginia, the Jimmy Clown Shoes, is looking a little bit wobbly, but it's doing fine. The McCrackens have achieved their objectives there, and are now going to dismount and skirmish on foot. Except that they're broken. Charging them in seems to wear cavalry out whether they win or lose, but if they achieve the objective and manage to break the enemy, that's quite acceptable. Yorkie's brigade is meeting the enemy finally up there. Thomas's men, you need to form a line, and you need to engage the enemy. We need to form a united front here. Let's advance. General advance coming on here. Stonewall brigade. Oh, let's assign a perk here. Let's go straight for disciplined line infantry, which might be the time to achieve that. Let's send you forward. Is there anything coming up that hill that I need to be aware of? We've got Wheats. Oh, those are the Louisiana Tigers? Okay, well, they're doing a fair job there. We do need to occupy that ground. We've got artillery that's gone... Why is my artillery gone forward? That I do not understand or know about. We've still got a huge fight kicking off there, so that's okay. And those guys have pulled back. That's acceptable. We shall allow it. Colonel A.T. Thomas, have your disciplined line infantry. We may pull back, however. It's better to rest units, fall back, than to have them break. It's always better. And we're going to throw in Frangus into the fray in his place. Right, carry on, chaps. These guys are falling. That's excellent. Jimmy Clown Shoes. Okay, this is looking much more like a Confederate victory now as the enemy... I mean, it's a scrappy victory, but we will take that. We will take that any day. Hood's brigade. Finally, they need some better weapons. Oh, that can probably be said of anyone in my force. McBride, have some specialised line infantry. And advance. Yeah, come on, we can advance. We've got the guys to do this now. Advance and inflict some death. What happened over this side? Thomas's brigade went into it. Yorkie's men holding strong. Time to advance forward. Okay, let's get the cavalry in here. The enemy are trying to... Well, actually they're routing. I thought they were going to make a charge, but no, they are indeed routing. That's good news. Okay, this is heading towards the Battle of Aqueduct Bridge, heading towards a Confederate victory. The enemy has retreated. Can we catch them anywhere? We might be able to catch them with these guys. Although I don't think there's going to be time. We're going to throw... We'll try it. I mean, we've got absolutely nothing to lose. And is there anything we can do over here? I don't think there's anything we can really do. I think the enemy are going to get away. Okay, let's just see what happens in the center. It's over. Wow. Okay, a brutal fight. The enemy lost 8,500 men. It was a... What was it? A minor Confederate victory. And we lost 4,400. It was a bit chaotic. I should have had my guys deployed better. Alright, it was a pretty sweet result was that, but by God, that felt like a stressful fight. The enemy came in with everything, and we held them off. I don't think Jackson's men got involved. But holding them off is a key thing. Okay, there's an enemy force at Frederick. That's okay. They may then start to push through Winchester and come down the Shenandoah Valley. That's to watch out for. We'll probably take a look at that next time. I think we're going to wrap things up there, as our forces need to rest and recover. That was some hectic fight. All right, so we've also got an invasion of Arkansas now. That's not good. The Army of the West is down there with 18,000 men. We have, facing them, the Western Army with 21,000 currently ready for duty. Readiness is not an option. Okay, we're going to have to deal with that. It looks like the Union fleet has just sailed past Fort Pillow. Well, that's a shame. But that was the nature of river warfare. It was quite possible. Okay, so we've got a mess everywhere. But on the whole, holding the Union capital, we're doing good. And then we're going to try and break out into Maryland once we get to spring. And once this gets a bit more orderly and organized and we can bring some more guys up. What's the force at Richmond like? A lot of artillery, which I suspect needs changing, right? Oh no, it's okay. Just needs reorganization. The cavalry itself at Richmond is not too bad. And then we've got Pike. Oh, Pike's men are okay. Damn, they need better weapons. And Frostmen. Oh, they're recruited. That's a new division right there, isn't it? Okay, that'll be going straight to the front. Okay, we'll wrap it up there, I think. Hectic fight. We've got bits of troops guarding crossings and flipping roads here, there, and everywhere. Where the major fighting is, we really need to push back into Missouri and Kentucky. This is a great result over here. We'll see if we can expand upon that. But it seems like the North hasn't given up yet, and the fight will continue. National morale. Okay, for the Union, their national morale is not so great. National support is also lagging. Army morale is better for me. There's some interesting stats there. We need to do more work.